You know that feeling, right? Someone hits you with some big news, good or bad, and your mind just goes completely blank. You know you should say something, but the right words are just nowhere to be found. It can be super awkward. Well, don't worry, because this right here, this is your toolkit for those exact moments.
So, picture this. Someone turns to you and says, "Heard the news?" And then, silence. That next moment is so crucial. What do you say? Do you have the right words ready to go? Well, that's exactly the question we're going to tackle right now.
Okay, first things first, let's dive into the tough one, responding to bad news. Finding the right words in those difficult moments, that's a real skill. But don't worry, we're going to look at some really simple but powerful options.
I mean, let's be real. Sometimes the news we hear is just devastating. It could be something personal, or it could be a huge global event that just stops you in your tracks.
So let's put ourselves in that situation. Imagine a friend comes up and says, "Did you hear? So many civilians were killed in war zones." Wow, that's heavy. It's real. And just saying, "Oh, that doesn't really cut it, does it?" So what do you say?
All right, let's get practical. Here are a few really straightforward things you can say that show you're listening, that you care, and that you totally get how serious the situation is.
The key here is to keep it simple and sincere. You could say, "What sad news?" or "That's terrible." See? Each one immediately shows empathy. "I'm sorry to hear that" is so direct and compassionate. And for something that's just a total shock, "What a disaster." The goal here isn't to solve the problem, right? It's about showing the other person, "Hey, I hear you," and just sharing that heavy moment with them.
Okay, so we've covered the really difficult moments. But thankfully, it's not all bad news, right? There's also news that brings hope. The kind of news that just lifts you up and makes you feel like maybe, just maybe, things are getting a little better.
And this contrast right here says it all. You can go from destruction to construction, from despair to potential. The world is absolutely full of both, and the trick is being ready to react to whatever comes our way.
So with that in mind, let's flip the script and move on to the fun part, responding to good news. This is all about how to share in that joy and celebration.
Because sometimes the news is just plain inspiring. It reminds you of progress, of people coming together, and all the good that's happening out there. I mean, just look at this classroom. It's full of hope.
Okay, let's try a new scenario. This time, someone comes up to you all excited and says, "Listen to this. Morocco just signed a deal to build new schools in rural areas?" Now that is fantastic news. So how do you jump in and share that excitement with them?
All right, back to the chalkboard we go. Here's exactly how you can celebrate with them and really amplify that amazing, positive feeling.
The most important thing here, match their energy. You can say, "What a good news," or the simple classic, "That's great." Are you feeling really enthusiastic? Then go for something like superb or terrific. These aren't just throwaway words, They show that you're genuinely happy and totally engaged with what's happening.
All right, so we've looked at both sides of the coin, the good and the bad. Now let's put it all together into one simple, super powerful toolkit.
And here it is, your complete news reaction toolkit. It's so simple. On the left, for bad news, you've got your phrases for empathy and concern. And on the right, for good news, all your words for joy and celebration. And you can even see the parallels, right? "That's terrible" becomes "That's great." Seriously, this is your go-to guide for pretty much any situation you'll face.
So there you have it. You're all set. You're equipped. You've got the words. The only question left is, what kind of news are you going to respond to today?